Hello everyone. So today we're getting into part 2 of the Strike Noir review. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the other previous metal builds of the Strike, and we'll get into some of the articulation, some of the things that I like and that I don't like, and we'll get into final thoughts. So let's get into it. Okay, so first I just want to give some thoughts as far as about the actual mobile suit itself. I love the Strike E or the Strike Noir. This is a really great variant. We've had multiple versions of the metal build Strike, and it started off with the original Strike that came out in 2018. It had the L pack. Then you had the Strike Infinity version. Then you had the 10th anniversary version. Then you had the Strike Rouge, the Otori set. You had the Strike, the new one that just came out a couple months ago, which was the Heliopolis version of the Metal Build Strike. And then I think next month we have the Strike Rouge with the Grand Slam sword. So there are plenty of different variants of the metal build, but ultimately, as far as the strikes go, the original Strike, as far as the different metal build versions, they're pretty much all the same. Some of the armaments are different, but most of them are pretty much the same. The only difference is the different decals. Now with this guy, the Strike Noir, he is based off of the Strike E. There is a variant that has just the original Strike colors, which is the red, white, and blue. But I don't know if they'll do a variant of the metal build for that. There is a master grade of it. It's kind of hard to find. I did have it for a while, but I ended up not building and I ended up selling it. So, but what we're gonna do first is we're gonna kind of get into articulation. So let's get into that. Okay, so let's go through some articulation. So first we're going to start off with the head. So with the head, he's got a pretty wide range of motion. He's got some neck articulation there. So he can look down and up, pretty much at any angle you can go. Now, I don't know if I would actually try to do it 360. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't think that will be able to work. But, you know, pretty much you're going to be able to pull off any pose that you really want as far as the head goes. So that's really, really good. This one actually does not come with a separate set of the crown or the V-fins. That's unfortunate. I think they only did that with the Strike. There's only been a couple of them that they've actually done that with. I actually wish they would do that more, but they don't. So, but you've got that. Now for the arms, all right. So of course he has good elbow articulation, so he can go all the way up there. He can actually go 360. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then he's got pretty wide range of motion there for the shoulders. So he's got really, really good articulation. There's not going to be too much. You don't want to be too rough with it because it is expensive, but you know, it does have pretty decent. Now, for the wrist, actually there is a part where this part will actually come out, and that kind of gives you almost like a flexing tricep pose, which is interesting. He doesn't have super articulation for, at least not with these hands anyway. For the wrist, he does have some where it'll go in and out. Put his gun out where it can go in and out, but not a lot. I know, like with the strays, they have a part where it actually comes up and the hand will actually go all the way up, but this one does not. But you still got a wide range of motion there, so you've got that. And we'll go to the legs here. Okay, now for the legs, lift up his front skirt there. And then you've got pretty good range of motion for the leg. And you've got a good knee bend there. So you've got a pretty good range of motion there. Okay. And then let's see, because some can do the splits and some can't. So I probably wouldn't try it with the side skirts being as long as they are, but you know, he can get a pretty wide range just like that. So so that's not too bad. I don't know who would want to pose it like that, but you do have that range of motion there. Now, one of the actual issues I've had with most metal builds, even though I like the line, is that I think that their feet are a little too short. They're not really long, so you know, especially with all this metal and stuff, sometimes they can be a little wobbly, especially in DTOFs because you're putting them on glass. It's not like on a solid platform. So, but with these, they kind of did it like the crossbone, where the feet can actually pull out, and that gives you a little bit more support. And see how the back came out as well. So that actually makes that a tad bit longer. So that'll give you kind of like the stability and support that you need. So I think that that's a really good plus. And I wish they would do that for all of them. I don't know if they do that for all of them, but most of them they do. So you've got that. Now he's also got really good ab articulation as well. So of course he can look all the way back like that. Okay, and then he can go all the way forward like that. So he can kind of do like a Dragon Ball Z power up move if he really wanted to. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I like that. I have had an issue with the front skirt actually popping off, but that's only when I raise the leg up really high. So, but they do come back on, but you do have to be cognizant of that because of course you don't want that to break. But you do have some decent, you can get in there with the side skirts. Now with the front skirts. Now the side skirts are a little bit longer, and so you can't really do much with them. They'll come in and out, but you probably don't want to mess with that too much. And then you've got the same with the back, so those will come out as well. So you got that, and then of course the thrusters can go up here, or they come down here when you put the backpack on. So you've got that there. So yeah, articulation is really good. With most metal builds, especially the strikes, they're pretty agile. So I do like the fact that their range of motion in the metal builds are pretty solid. So we'll do that, and then we'll actually take a look at his backpack because his backpack actually has quite a bit of articulation as well. So we'll get into that. Okay, now the articulation for the Noir Striker pack. So of course, these can raise out this way here. So you can have them out all the way like this. The swords parts, these actually do come out here and here. Okay, so they can come out like that. And then you can take this part out. Now, for this is for the swords actually, if I can pull this out. You do need to be cognizant of this piece here. I know on my master grade, this actually broke on my Astre Noir because this is a really thin plastic. This one's not so bad. I haven't had any issues with this one for the metal build, but you do have to be cognizant of this piece here. Now, the thing is, this is not actually hooking in there. It's actually just resting right in here. So that should help with that. So you can put that back in there like that. Okay, but you've got that, and then you can actually turn these sideways because this is actually on a ratchet. So you can turn these pretty much any way you want. So that is really cool. So you can have it that way. I actually have it backwards, but but yeah, so you can do it that way as well. So you've got all of that, and most of the articulation is in the, because you've got like a ratchet here, here, and here. So these can go all the way up, and then if you want to turn that around like that, and then that's like a version of his flight mode. So you've got pretty good range there. So, excellent job by Bandai. Haven't really had any issues with this guy whatsoever. So, you've got a lot that you can do there. So, that's pretty much the articulation for the backpack. So, try to get this to look right. But yeah, so that's the Noir Striker pack. And then we're going to start getting into his accessories, and there are a bunch. So we'll get into that. Okay, now this is his accessories. So of course, first off, we have the beam rifle. Let me get that to focus. So of course, that's the regular strike beam rifle. So you've got that, and then you've got the beam rifle with the grenade launcher. So you've got this here, and this grenade part does come out. So just be cognizant of that, especially if you've got dogs and stuff like that. Make sure that those things don't fall out on you unintentionally. So you've got those. So he's got two of these. Only took one out, and then you've got like the shorty beam rifle. So you've got this part here, and then what happens is this piece, actually you can take this piece out. It's kind of hard, so just be if you use a lot of force, just make sure that you hold on to that, because that will kind of shoot all over, and that will create this part here. And all this is a separate piece here, and it pulls out. So once you put pull the new one, the one out of the original, you just put this one in there on the side there, and then clap that in there, and that's your shorty beam rifle or whatever. And then he actually does have clips in both guns. So if I can, and that will pull out there. So that's pretty cool. Now just be cognizant of these beam clips, because I actually lost one already. And I'll show you where that happened. But yeah, so just be cognizant, because those are really thin. It hit the ground and now I can't find it. So, but they do give you 2 spares. So you've got that, and then you got one in both guns. Okay, and then you've got his beam saber. All right, so you just pull this off here, and you got that. And then these are your extra clips, and I'm actually glad they did do that, because actually I was messing with this earlier, and both of these fell out unintentionally, and I lost one. So just be cognizant of these, because these do easily come out. They don't really clip in there. They're just kind of slid in there, and so they can come out easily if you mess around with them quite often. So, but I am glad that they gave us some spares for that, just for that occasion. So you got that. Then you've got, of course, you've got the beam saber. That's nothing new. It's typical with pretty much every Gundam. And then you've got the grappling hook. So, and then this is flexible, so you can bend that to any way you want here. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got, he actually comes with 5 sets of hands. So here you have the expressive hands. Okay. And then you've got the trigger finger hands. That's what I call them. You got the beam saber hands here. Okay. And then you've got the grappling hook hands. Okay. And then you've got another, looks like beam saber hands as well. So you've got 5 sets of hands there. So pretty significant. And then in order to connect these, you would just take that slit there, and you'll just take this and then put that in there. So actually, I don't think I put that in there very good. Hold on. It's hard to kind of see it in camera. So there we go. So, and then you can have that grappling hook. That actually does go on his feet as well. So you've got that there. And that's pretty much it for his accessories. Now, okay, now, in order to put this stuff on his back, like what it is you've got this panel here. And what you have to do, you got to use a nail or something and kind of peel that off. And just be careful with that, because when I did that, this part went flying. So I did find it, luckily, but yeah, it goes flying. So just be cognizant of that. And then it'll create this hole here. And so you just take the beam saber there, and then you can put that on the back like that. So he's got his extra beam sabers on the back skirt there. And then if you want to do it for the ammo, you can put the same one back there as well. So either way that you want, and but that one comes off too. I'm just not going to do it because I don't want to have to try to find that. but yeah, so you can do it for both. So you've got that, and then we'll actually take a look at the swords for the actual Noir striker unit, and I'll put the beam sabers on there and see how those look. And pretty much that's kind of like how I showed before. You would just take this and then pull these out here. Pull that out, that comes apart. And then you would take the beam effect part, and that kind of slides right on top of here, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got it the wrong way. There we go. And then that kind of slits in there, if I can do that. There we go. All right. That just took a second. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do it and keep it in focused on camera. But so you got that there. So you can always use these for the hands. And then you would clap that back in there. Boom. So just like that. So those are pretty much all of his accessories. So, and he does come with a stand and stuff. That's pretty much the basic stand. He does have some supports for the wings when you have it in flight mode, but I don't really think he needs them. It's pretty solid, and the joints are pretty tight on their own. So, but you do have those as well. So that's what you've got for accessories. And then we will get into final thoughts. All right, so final thoughts on this guy. Ultimately, he's great. Out of 10 stars, I would probably give him a 9, 9.5. If you are a fan of the Strike, or if you are a fan of the Strike Noir specifically, pick him up. Now, this guy did not come out in America as far as on the P Bandai site. This was a Tamashii Nations exclusive to my knowledge. So you may have a little trouble trying to find him, but if you are if you collect most of the metal builds, you should know where to find him. He is a little bit expensive. I know in Japan, I think he retailed for like $220, but after shipping and all of that stuff, I ended up paying about $330. I think was the price that I paid for him. But he's well worth it. Another great variant of the Strike. The colors are great. As far as pros and cons, I don't really have any cons other than the fact that I lost a clip for his gun, but that wasn't really their fault. That was my fault. So, but he's great. So if you are a fan of the Strike Noir, I would definitely pick him up. So thank you guys for watching the video, and we will catch you in the next one.